New York under commanding General Yohana. And in this school, we teach the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? That the so-called black man, Hispanic man, and the native Indian man, we are all family and we are all blood. We are a part of the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. Today I'll be sitting in for Officer Swapiala, the officer above me. But today I have with me
Prison Officer Maikwa
and Prison Officer Bariath.
Alright, and we're going to go into the scriptures today. Alright, we're going to go into the topic. The topic for tonight is, are we cursed as a people? You understand why? And is there a solution that could help us come out of being under this curse? Help us come out from being under this situation that we are in as black people, being at the bottom of all these other races, of all these other nations. Because when you read the word nations in the Bible, it just means races. You understand? Before we get into tonight's topic, the number to call?
The numbers to call is 342-0081, 466-5391, 771-1791. Alright, so those are the numbers to call in.
You could call in with your questions, your comments. Leave your little 2 cents, because we'd like to hear from the listening and viewing audience as well. You know what I mean? Once possible, right? So we're going to go into tonight's topic. We have been watching the different events happening in and around Trinidad, and many of our people, we have been protesting, doing something that we have seen our foreparents have done for generations. You understand? Protesting, don't shoot, putting up your hands in the air. But the question we have to ask ourselves is this, you understand, going to change? What if we continue marching and protesting? You understand? Is this going to change the black community, the Hispanic community, the Native Indian community? Is this going to change us as a people? Or are we missing something? You understand? Something biblically, something that is right, something that was given to us by our forefathers, which is the law of the Most High. You understand? When you look back at religion, they say that the laws of God, they are done away with. You understand? But when you go through the Bible, when you are being taught by priests and prophets in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana, you're seeing something totally different. You understand? So we're going to go into a few scriptures tonight. We're going to hear different views from the brothers as well on the panel tonight, and again, the callers could call in. You understand? So we're going to start at the book of Isaiah, you understand, chapter 28 and verse 9. Because we as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, as the scriptures have said, we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You understand? And when it comes to the Bible, we have to understand that there is a way that we as a people should go about reading the Bible, getting that knowledge or getting that understanding, because you are not going to learn this in religion. You understand? Your Christian pastor, your religious leaders, they are not going to teach you the things in the Bible. The Bible have nothing to do with religion, as we will always say. The Bible have absolutely nothing to do with religion, but it is a history book of a chosen people, a royal people, a people who the Lord say he needs to be separate. When you go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6, you're going to see that these people are supposed to be separate. Why they are supposed to be separate from all these other nations or races is because they was given particular laws. They was given a structure. They was given governance. You understand? They was given a constitution that could rule over black people righteously. You understand? But we are not being taught these things in religion, and we are being spinning top in the ears for generation to generation, while these other nations, these other races, they build off of our backs. And when you look at their empire and their people, you could see that their empire and their people, they're doing totally different from the black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. And when any brother have it, you can read it, Baba Kusha.
The book of Isaiah 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge?
You understand? So the prophet Isaiah is saying, whom shall he teach knowledge? What is that knowledge? That knowledge, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man listening out here, you have to understand that it is the information or the understanding of something that you're going to learn. You understand? Through a skill or experience. You understand? So what it is in the Bible that we have to learn, what it is that we have to practice, what it is we have to get that skill from, this is the question that we have to ask ourselves. You understand? So the prophet Isaiah is saying, whom is going to learn this knowledge? Go ahead.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
And to whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Because when the prophet Isaiah looked at his people, we are not doing the things that is required of the Most High. So who is going to learn doctrine? What is the doctrine? This truth, according to the Bible. You understand? There's only one truth. There's only one doctrine. Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
Them that are weaned from the milk.
Them that are what?
Weaned from the milk.
And something important that we have to look at here. Prophet Isaiah is saying that them that are weaned from the milk. When you look at a child, you look at a baby. You understand? That baby is being fed milk, breast milk. You understand? From young, from since it's born. But he's saying that he, that is what? Read it again, Baba Kusha.
Them that are weaned from the milk.
Somebody that is going to be gradually separated from this milk. Go ahead.
And drawn from the breast.
And drawn from the breast. So now, you seeing whereby the prophet Isaiah, he used the child as a reference. He that is weaned from the milk. We have to understand that there is something that we as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have to feed on. We have to understand that we have to feed on something. And when you look at the analogy of the child, you can't just give the child solid foods to eat.
That's right.
You understand? You wouldn't give babies solid food that adults will eat. Now you have to start doing what? Learning something that is going to start nourishing you. And after that, is going to learn the doctrine, the philosophies of this Bible. You understand? That is the end of Baba Kusha. That is up to verse 10. We go to the end of verse 10.
Alright, can. Verse 10. For precept must be upon precept.
So when you're reading the Bible, he's saying for precept must be upon precept. What is the precepts? Precepts are these verses in the Bible. But listen what he's saying. It must be upon precept, must be upon precept. Letting us know, letting us understand that when you read one verse in the Bible, it must coincide with another verse that you read in the Bible. You don't just pick up the Bible and read it as a storybook. You understand? So for example, right, if you could, Officer Michael Baba Kusha, I saw the book of Genesis chapter 2, you understand, to the end whereby we spoke about the earth being fulfilled, finished in 7 days. You understand? So precept must be upon precept. So when you read the Bible, you're going to understand, you read a passage in a book, we'll go to our next book. You understand? Whereby you could fulfill the understanding of what was just read. You understand? When you have it, go ahead, Baba Kusha.
Genesis?
Yeah, Genesis chapter 2.
Come on. The book of Genesis.
But you go down to where you're talking about the earth was, the Lord saw that was good in the 7 days.
Come on. The book of Genesis chapter 2 and verse 3. And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
Right? So when you look at that, you see whereby the Lord had rested on the 7th day. Now most people might think that to be literal 7 days, when that is not so. You understand? Because when you go to the book of 2 Peter, if you could, Baba Kusha, we will start at verse 3. 2 Peter chapter 3, we will start at verse 8. You go understand how long it took for the earth to be created. And these things is absolutely important for us to know. You understand? Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
The book of 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
But beloved, be not ignorant.
But beloved, be what?
Be not ignorant.
So we are seeing here where Peter is telling us to do what? Don't be ignorant. Understand something. Go ahead.
Of this one thing.
Of this what?
Of this one thing.
Go ahead.
That one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
One day is what?
One day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
So when you read in the book of Genesis, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, when the Lord spoke about the earth being, read it again in Genesis, what it say?
Come on. The book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 7. No, Salakia, chapter 2 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he rested from all his work which God created and made.
So on the 7th day, which is 7,000 years after the Most High rested, the earth wasn't built in 7 days. Now you could start understanding how the earth was created. But most importantly, for us, now coming into the knowledge of who we are as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, now understanding who's the true Jews, now understanding, you understand your culture, your history, your heritage, you start reading precept upon precept, line upon line. Go ahead, Officer Barriat, one more time.
For precept must be upon precept.
Go ahead.
Precept upon precept, line upon line,
Go ahead.
here a little and there a little.
You understand? Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So you might read something in Deuteronomy, you go back to Leviticus, you get the understanding. You read something in Leviticus, you might have to go quiet down in Matthew to get the understanding.
Okay.
This is how the Bible is being read for us as a people to understand. Not how the religious leaders do it. And if you take time and you listen to the motion of the religious leaders, they're not teaching the Bible. It's either some prosperity doctrine, something to sell the so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, and they are not being taught their true culture, their true history, their true heritage, which was left by their forefathers for them to understand, for them to know the things that is going to happen to them, right? Like what's happening to us right now in 2026.
That's right.
You understand? Anybody want to say anything, or we could go ahead and more again?
Can.
Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
Just as you're touching how you just basically get the understanding of the Bible, precept upon precept, line upon line, I will also drop one as well.
Go ahead.
First we go into the book of John 5:46 and 47.
John 5:46 and 47.
Yeah, John 5, and I read in 46 and 47.
The book of John, chapter 5, verse 46. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me. Verse 47. But if ye believe not his writings, how shall ye believe my words?
Right.
Right, you understand? So it give you basically a breakdown here, letting you know that Moses' writings is important.
Right.
Right? The things that he wrote about, the laws that he basically, because they used to call it Moses' law, but we know it come from the Most High.
Right.
Because he's the one that chose to go up on the hill and meet the Most High face to face. The children of Israel was basically afraid of the Most High with hearing him.
Right.
That's right.
So why is it important to bring out this, you know, in terms of raising up with children,
Right.
seeing what is the right way. If you go to the Christian church will tell you, do bother with the Old Testament. The Old Testament is passed away.
Correct.
Right? So they give you part of the understanding here. And now we're going and get the rest of the understanding. We go into the book of Susanna 1, verse 1 to verse 3.
And just before you move to the book of Susanna, right, something very important, and I like how you bring all that as well too. Something important that we have to understand. You understand, as we read in the book of John. When you read the book of John, as the brother brought out with chapter 5 and verse 42, you see the words what? Written in red. And we all know that once the word written in red, this is Christ himself speaking.
Can.
You understand? And Christ is saying, if you have not what? But I know you, that ye have not, sorry, wait, it's 1 John what? 5 and 42?
46 and 47.
Right. For he had believed Moses. For had ye believed Moses. So Christ is saying, if you have believed Moses, what Moses gave the children of Israel. The Moses gave the children of Israel the laws. You understand? That's supposed to govern their nation. Supposed to govern their people. The laws, commandments, and statutes. And he's saying, for ye had believed Moses. You understand? Ye would have believed me. For what? He wrote of me. The things that Moses wrote of.
That's right.
And gave to the children of Israel is of who?
Christ.
You understand? But if ye believe not his writings, which is absolutely important. This is what Christ saying. This is from the what? The New Testament. You understand? So he was reflecting back to the Old Testament. If ye have not believed his writings, then what? How shall ye believe my words?
Right.
You understand? And the Lord himself said, lo, which is look, this paraphrasing, I come in the volume of the book.
Anakan.
You understand? So the things written in this Bible is of our King Yahushai and the Most High God. You understand? Go ahead, Officer Barrier. Salakia.
Yeah, good.
The book of Susanna, chapter 1 and verse 1. There dwelt a man in Babylon called Joachim, and he took a wife whose name was Susanna,
Right.
the daughter of Kelikas, a very fair woman, and one that feared the Lord. Verse 3. Her parents also were righteous, and taught their daughter according to the law of Moses.
Now, right there, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you get to see how to raise up a proper child.
Right.
You understand? By the laws of Moses. You understand? Because it describes Susanna as being a fair woman, one that feared the Lord. You understand? So if you want your children and them to grow up with a fear of the Lord, you're seeing that the laws of Moses is what will give them that right structure. You understand?
Right.
But if you listen to the Christian church and say the Old Testament pass away and do adhere to the laws of Moses, which is also the laws of the Most High,
Right.
you will never get the correct recipe.
Correct. You understand? And just bubbling a little bit on what we're saying there, right? What is also important for us to understand and to know, in every way we go, most aspects of life, you understand, there are rules, there are laws.
That's right.
Okay.
You understand? And as I like to bring out, we had to watch, like, for example, we could start in our own house, and then we could expand it abroad to businesses and clubs and whatsoever the case might be.
Okay.
You understand? And when we look at our house have what? Rules.
That's right.
Laws, regulations, to make sure that that house is going to function properly. But
Okay.
what we have to understand, as Officer Sowapia, let us be bringing out from time to time, is that black people in Silot, Mova, John, Chumaka, whatsoever we might be, down in the ghettos.
Okay.
You understand? Because Christ himself came from the ghetto. We could show that in the Bible also.
That's right.
You understand? The prophets had to ask, could anything come from
Good
could
from
anything
Nazareth.
good come from Nazareth?
Yeah,
Salakia,
okay.
you understand? Because it's the ghetto. And then now we go be asking yourself, could anything good come from Silot or John or Mova? Yes, it could.
True.
It could, absolutely. Shine and gold.
That's right.
But we have to realize we have to return to the laws of the Most High. So back to what I was saying when we're talking about the rules and regulation in the house. Our houses have rules and regulation.
Okay.
You understand? We know the man is the head of the house, the woman, then the children. Then you have times that you will let the children come in, the times you let them go out.
That's right.
You understand how you structure and organize your house. All these different things. Your house must have rules. Businesses have rules. When you go to your job, day to day, it have rules. Time to come in, time to leave out. No sexual harassment. You understand what I'm saying? No eating here, don't drink here, don't do this there. There are rules. Now for this house, this family of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, there are rules. There are laws, commandments, and statutes that's supposed to govern this nation. You understand? Where these rules could be found? In the Bible.
That's right.
The Lord said in the book of Deuteronomy, He chose us to be separate. He separated us from all these other races. Give us our laws, you understand, which supposed to govern our nation and by extension, govern the earth. But because we refuse to obey the laws of the Most High, you understand, this is the condition that we're in right now.
Okay.
When you read the Bible and you start realizing that we as a people need to keep these laws, commandments, and statutes, then you will start to understand what is the agenda of these religions. All these religions that was created by the slave master. What is the agenda? You understand? Because if we have rules, for example, the dietary law to govern our health, the Lord
Okay.
letting us know on the planet Earth what is food for us as a people to eat and what is not food.
Okay.
How we should be dealing with brothers and sisters. You understand? There are laws and rules that govern when women make children.
That's
Boy
right.
children and girl children. What we supposed to do. You understand? There are rules and laws that govern next to kin. You can't sleep with your family. These are the things that these other nations do.
Okay.
You understand? And the Lord separated us by giving us our laws, giving us all these values. You understand? That the religion and religious leaders say done away with.
That's right.
You understand? Give me the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17, Baba Kusha. Because these things is important for us to understand. And just as the brother was bringing out, you understand, in the book of John, when he was saying, when Christ was saying, but if you believe not his writings, which is the writings of Moses, then how could you believe me? These things is important. Now we're going to read the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17. We go stop down to verse 19, Baba Kusha.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17. Think not.
Do what?
Think not.
Are the words written in red?
Come on, can.
So anybody that have a Bible, feel free. Pull out a Bible, open it to the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17, and let's read together. Because these things is very important. Christ himself is speaking and saying, think not. What does that mean? Don't think anything different from what it is I am going to tell you. You understand? Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
Come on, the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
So he's saying, don't think nothing different. Don't think that when I come on the scene, Christ, that I come to do what? Destroy the law. Go ahead.
Or the prophets.
So now, what does that show the so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man? Christ is already letting us know that when it comes to the law, he didn't come to destroy it. So which means the laws is still in full effect. I did not come to destroy the law. Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Christ saying that he did not come to destroy the law, or what?
But to fulfill.
No, or what? Did not come to destroy the law, or what?
Did not come to destroy the law or the prophets.
Did not come to destroy the law or the prophets. You understand? The things that Ezekiel, Jeremiah, you understand? Samuel, Solomon, all these people did. He did not come to destroy the law or the prophets. He did not come to destroy the things that Moses gave to the children of Israel.
That's right.
So-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. This is what we have to know. This is what we have to understand. This is what we have to hold close to us. If we saying that we serve in the Lord, or we want to serve God and walk after his righteousness. Christ himself said he did not come to destroy the law or the prophets. He didn't come to do away with the dietary law. You understand? And all these laws that was given to us, that we dropped and pick up. You understand? The traditions of men. Like all these pagan holidays, for example. Look, we have Valentine's Day coming up. You understand? Another pagan holiday. We're not supposed to be celebrating Valentine's Day. Next week, Lord allow. You understand? We're going to come and we're going to show you the pagan origins of Valentine's Day.
That's right.
We're not supposed to be celebrating that. You understand? Christ didn't come to do away with the law, the prophets. He didn't come to do away with the high holy days and the feast days that was given to us. You understand? Like the Feast of Purim, which we have coming up. And after the Feast of Purim, the Lord's Passover. You understand? When you pay attention to the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Yohana, you're going to learn that we keep the laws of the Most High. We teach men the laws of the Most High. You understand? All these high holy days and feast days that Moses gave to the children of Israel, which we are. You understand? Which the people in Silots and in Beetham and Scorpion and Labrie and all these ghetto areas are the children of Israel.
That's right.
The true Jews of the Bible. This is who we are. You understand? These laws is for us. And if we apply these laws in these same areas that we are in, you're going to see a vast change of our people. You're going to see a vast change of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. No more will we have to be going out on the streets and protesting, you understand, and being brutalized by the authorities. You understand? If you could remember a couple years back when a sister got shot, being pregnant, coming out in the protest.
That's right.
No more we will have to go through these things, because now we could understand what our forefathers left for us. We could understand what Christ was talking about when he said, don't think I come to destroy the law. I didn't come to say, hey, we have to do away with the law. No, no, no. Christ didn't say he come to do away with the prophets. So now we have to go back to what the prophets were saying and try to understand, wait, this applies to us. But if we are not being taught these things in religion, we are not being taught these things in the Christian church, you understand? Then we go be thinking the laws of God done away with, because these other nations who was not given the laws, these other races, we are going to follow after them.
That's right.
And when we follow after them, we will be sinning against our God. We will be sinning against our power. We will be destroying the very fabric of what Christ died for. You understand? In order for our people, our nation, to rise and come out of the condition that we are in. This is what we have to understand. So it's time for us to really reflect back and understand, are we being taught the Bible? Or are we just going through with what we have learned from generation to generation? You understand? Go ahead, Officer Michael Salakia.
Yeah, come on. Verse 18. For verily I say unto you.
For what?
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass.
So Christ is saying, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. We could see the heavens above us, and we could see the earth is still here. He is saying, until these things pass, until it could come out in the morning, and you no more seeing these things. Go ahead.
One jot.
Not what?
One jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
Not one dotting of an I or one crossing of a T. To the religious leaders, the ones who supposed to be teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the Bible. Not one crossing of an I or dotting of a T. Go ahead.
Not one jot or one tittle in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Shall in no wise pass from the law. Meaning that nothing in this book, it can pass, it can do away. Till what? All be fulfilled. Till all these things be fulfilled, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. You understand? Go ahead to verse 19.
Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Whosoever shall do what?
Shall break one of these least commandments.
What will be a least commandment? A least commandment might be what?
So like yes, eating the wrong foods, so a basic one.
Most High in Christ. You understand? Eating pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. You understand? Because you might think, nah, all meats are to be given with thanksgiving, as the religious leaders just be saying. But Christ is telling you, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law. And in our law, the Lord showed us what foods are to be eaten, from what foods are not to be eaten. You understand? What is an abomination or what is unclean to what is clean for us as a people. You never see nowhere in the scriptures where our people sacrifice swine flesh on the altars or give swine as an offering. You understand? It's always the best of the lambs and the goats and the he-goats. You understand? This is what we have to come to realize, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. We are not being taught this book. Go ahead, Officer Michael.
So like yes, sir. Yeah. If I may, just as a touching on the foods, right? And many of the times, what people don't understand that, you know, that they would eat the swine's flesh or the conchs, right? Or many different animals that the Lord say not to eat, right? And they don't understand not only that it bringing harm to yourself, right? Health-wise, right? It also destroys the ecosystem that the Lord set up, right? So one example, they did a study in a particular university, right? And they blocked part of a river, right? The river was the water was very toxic, right? It had a lot of debris and it wasn't clean, right? And all they did to the water, they added shrimp, right? A portion of shrimp, right? That was alive. They added lobster, they added crab, right? And they added snails, right? Or what we would call conchs down here, right? And in 1 week, the water was crystal clear, right? Because they were the engine, you understand? Within this water to weed out all the debris, right? All and dead matter that is in the water. You understand? And within 1 week, the water was perfectly clear. So when people think that, hey, I will just go in the lagoon or the mang, as they call it, and pull out all these different things, right? They're actually making the environment even more worse.
Right.
And these are things people could look up. Even a shark, right? The scripture talk about eating fish with fins and scales.
Correct.
Right? A shark don't have scales, it had the fins. So we are unable to eat it as the chosen people of the Lord.
Right.
But when people look at a shark, the body of a shark stores lead.
Right.
You understand? So they're able to take up this toxin from the water and by that helping the ecosystem survive. Right? And they would feed on the weaker animals within the ecosystem.
Right.
Thus, you wouldn't find a lot of rotten animals in these different places. So all these animals have their specific use, right? That the Lord set out for them to do.
Very
Right,
good.
Salakia?
Yeah,
Just wanted
most
to add
thank
that.
Christ for that. That is something excellent. You want to say some of
Yeah,
Salakia? Yeah, go ahead.
Salakia, so Officer Mike, 100% correct.
Correct.
Even the catfish. The catfish is one that do have fins and scales.
That's
They
right.
are bottom feeders, and ancient cultures used to use them in the latrine ponds to clean up the mess.
That's right.
And even if you translate it to today, 2026, we have yachties right down Shagaramas.
Right.
And a lot of the wastes come through little pipes and go down in the sea.
Right.
You know?
Correct.
So when they fall, the feces and things fall to the bottom of the sea ocean. They are the creatures that would come and clean it up
Clean it up.
to make the seas safe for us to go in and enjoy.
Absolutely correct. You understand? And what we have to realize too, just as Ole saying, because Ole absolutely correct. You understand? Is then now when we go and catch these things and we consume it, now we will be all on all these social media with our big bacon shark, shrimp roti, you understand? Duck this, duck curry. We don't understand that we just put in much more toxins in our body.
Salakia said, and if I may,
Yeah, go ahead.
you know that they like to use the phrase, you are what you eat.
Right.
So imagine what you're consuming.
Correct.
Salakia.
You understand? So now we consuming all these unclean things that the Lord say we're not supposed to be consuming. You understand? And then when we start to get older, now we have to go and do what? Buy iodine water. You understand? And run in the churches if you could get a prayer cloth or anointing oil because we're sick. But in this book, have the dietary law, have the things that saying, hey, this is not what we're supposed to be eating. You understand? It's like you have your home, just as we bring the analogy earlier on, you have your house. You will know and section out and tell the younger children, hey, you see here, or don't go here. These things here is dangerous. And the same thing the Lord did for his children, which is the children of Israel, letting us know, hey, you see these foods here, or don't eat it. You see these animals on the land, don't do that, don't eat that. You could eat this, don't. You understand what I'm saying? And that is what I believe we will go in after the Valentine's Day. We will go into the dietary law. You understand? And go more into, like what Officer Michael was bringing out to show, you understand, where these things, they have their duties on the earth. You understand? And to also show how toxic these things could be to us. You understand?
Salakia,
yeah,
sir.
go ahead, Officer
Just a quick reminder. Remember the numbers to call in is 342-0081,
Right.
466-5391, 771-1791. Right?
Yeah, continue with the thing.
Come on.
We'll start up on verse 19 again.
Come on. The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 19. Whosoever, therefore, shall break one of these least commandments.
So now, if we should break the least commandments, for example, just as the brothers was bringing out, for example, with the dietary law, we start eating all these unclean foods or these foods that the Lord say is an abomination to him. Go ahead.
And shall teach men so.
And shall do what?
And shall teach men so.
And they go out and teach men the laws of God are done away with. We could receive all meats and eat all meats with thanksgiving. You understand? We start teaching men, not we in the studio here, but we start teaching men to do so. Letting them know, all right, you could go ahead and eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. You understand? And all these unclean foods. Go ahead.
He shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven.
He shall be called what?
Least in the kingdom of heaven.
To be called least in the kingdom of heaven. You understand? So what does that tell you, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man? If you are going to be called least in the kingdom of heaven, then the laws have a part to play with the kingdom of heaven. sit down and think about that for a minute. The laws have a part to play with the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead, Bob.
Salakia, so. And also, it's telling you, if you're following men that basically teaching you that the laws are done away with, you'll be called least in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. That's right.
Your pastors will teach you that the laws are done away with.
Right.
You understand? So you'll be following your pastor and being the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Correct.
That's right.
Now, is the religious leaders actually guiding the flock to the kingdom of heaven?
Can.
Is the religious leaders guiding the flock to the Lord?
Can.
You understand? As the scriptures say, paraphrasing, no more will your teachers be hidden in a corner. The true Jews are black. The Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are on the street corners teaching our people, show the four corners of the earth, the truth, which is the laws, the truth according to the Bible. You understand? Go ahead, Officer Michael. Tawada again, Officer Barriott.
Come on. And shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven.
To be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
But whosoever do and teach them.
But whoever do what?
Whosoever shall do and teach them.
So now you're realizing who you are. You're realizing that Hebrew Israelite is the true Jews of the Bible. You're realizing you're a part of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You understand? You're realizing you can't eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. You can't celebrate the holidays of this world. You're realizing you have feast days, high holy days of the Most High that was given to Moses for us. You understand? Like the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Tabernacle, the memorial blowing of trumpets. You understand? Day of Atonement, the Purim, which is coming up in March, the 2nd and 3rd of this year, 2026. Again, you could come down to light pole number 1, Morris Street, Point 14, where you could understand how to keep the laws of the Most High, how to celebrate these high holy days and these feast days. You understand? We have the Lord's Passover.
That's right.
April 4th. You understand? Come down at light pole number 1, Morris Street, Point 14, and see how our brothers and sisters of these 12 tribes in the Americas hold on this Passover. How to celebrate it. You understand? How we dress, how we greet each other, how we salute, how we pray to the Most High on that day. Because these things is memorials. You understand? Memorials of things our foreparents went through. We talking about we want to honor our foreparents. Honor our foreparents by doing what they told us to do as a people.
That's right.
Not by what the religious leaders saying or Oshun or all these Baptist or Eurasian gods. You understand? Which in the Bible say there are no gods.
Go on.
Because the Lord say there is no God but me. You understand? Come down and see how it is done. Come down and see how black people greet each other, celebrate with each other, sup with each other. You understand? Look out for each other. Where there is no killing and no shooting and no violation. In no way. Understand what is really happening, and now we can take what the Lord give us, our forefathers give us, and carry it back to our communities.
Come on.
Brick by brick, we go build it. You understand? Because this Bible is full of rich culture, full of rich history, but we don't know it because we are not being taught it. But the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are here. So-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, we are here for you. Reach out to the school. You understand? The officer above me, Officer Sawapiala, 479-8286. Give him a shout, give him a call. You understand? Start understanding what's going on in this book. Start understanding what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension the world. Now you're going to see these prophecies are rolling out right in front of your face. You understand? Now you could understand why nation rising against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Now we could understand why these other nations governing and ruling over us. Why they in all these top high spots. Black people can't seem to find a way. Why we in this, how we just say it, crab in a barrel syndrome. These things could reverse. These things could stop. Black people could love one another. We could respect one another. We could go back to the old time days where we used to hear we parents and them talking about saying, you know, long time I used to leave my door open.
Yeah.
Nobody never used to come in my place. I can leave my door open and go down in the market and come back. And when I come back, everything intact. We could come back to these days. These things could happen. You understand? But when we are not being taught our way, which is the way of black people, which is the way of Israel, the true Jews, not these fake Jews, over in the land of Israel right now. When we come back to the ways of our forefathers, black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, now you're going to see who's the real criminals. Now you're going to see who's the real enemies. Now you're going to see who is the people that had the influence over us and us doing the wrong things. But we must turn back to this book. This is the key. This is the answer. This is the solution. Go ahead, Officer Mike. Salaki, want to say anything, Officer Barrett?
Go on.
Go ahead.
I had one scripture I just wanted to touch
go ahead,
on
no
there.
problem. Go ahead.
Because every Christian just want to be in the kingdom of heaven. And then we want to touch a little bit. This scripture will also touch a little bit when Christ talk about he came to fulfill as well. Right? So give me a second. Ezra 2. And again, me 37 to 40.
Right, I just want to say shout out to Nazamana. Hope I get your name correct. You understand? On the YouTube. Right? Shout out to Nazamana on the YouTube.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 37.
Go ahead.
O receive the gift that is given you, and be glad, giving thanks unto him that had led you to the heavenly kingdom.
Right, so what we're talking here about is the heavenly kingdom. We're going to find out, you understand, the fulfilling as something going to get you the heavenly kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 38. Arise and Salakia, arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord.
Right? So all of us should be desirous of wanting to be in the feast of the Lord.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 39. Which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Lord.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 40. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord.
Which have fulfilled what?
The law of the Lord.
You understand? So when the Christian church telling you that the laws of God are done away with,
right,
you understand? They're just separating you from the kingdom of heaven. That is all they're doing.
Correct. You understand? So right through the Bible, you could read and you could see, to what for that officer by there. You understand? You could see whereby over and over it all goes back to the laws of the Most High.
Can.
You understand? How could we say that the laws of God done away with? That is absolutely atrocious.
Can.
You understand? It must have a rule in place or rules in place to govern anything that you're doing. To govern anything that you're building, to govern any nation. You understand? And our nation, which is the nation of Israel, we have rules, we have laws, commandments, and statutes in order for our people to be righteous in the eyes of the Most High. You understand? Give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, Baba Kusha. We're going to see what caused us as a people to be in this condition. If keeping the laws made us be in this condition that we are in, you understand? Or the laws done away with. We go see. When you have it, read Baba Kusha.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass.
It shall what?
It shall come to pass.
Moses is going to tell us, black people in Sealots, Mova, John, Chumaka, Scorpion, Diego Martin, Diamond Vale, wherever you're from, Labrie, Point, you understand? Charlottesville, wherever black people is, Moses is going to tell us something as a nation and as a people. But we have to take heed. Just like Christ saying, as the officer bring out before, if they didn't listen to Moses, how could they listen to me? It have no way we as a people could bypass Moses and cling to the Most High, cling to Christ. Christ say we must what? Listen to
must
the voice
believe in Moses'
Moses.
words.
You understand? Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass.
Listen, you know, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, Moses is letting you know this is going to happen. Go ahead.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So now he is saying, if we hearken diligently, with due diligence, this is going to happen to us as a nation, as a people. Go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments.
Listen to his voice diligently. To do what? Observe. Look at, watch, understand. And what? Do. There's something so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indians we need to do. All of us that are in the ghettos and in the barrios and on the reservations, the First Nations people, not forgetting you, from out there in Santa Rosa. You are part of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel too.
Gone.
But we have something to observe and do that Moses is telling us here now. Go ahead.
Come on, can. To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
All his what?
Which all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
Saying if we observe and do all the commandments, all, not some, not pick and choose. Not saying, well, we could do this one and leave out this one. All. You understand? To observe and do all his commandments, which he commanded us to do this day. Go ahead.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
The Lord is going to do what?
Set thee on high.
Do we really believe in the Lord? This is the question we have to ask ourselves. Do we really believe in the Lord? Do we believe that the Most High is going to set us on high above all these nations? Moses is telling us that if we observe and do his commandments, why are we at the bottom or in this condition that we're in? We're not keeping the commandments, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. We're not following what Moses tell us. We're not doing what Christ say, and when Christ say, if they had believed Moses, they're going to believe me. We have something to do, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
To observe and to do all his commandments, that which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God would set thee on high above all nations on the earth.
He will set us where?
Above all nations of the earth.
Moses is telling us that if we observe to do these commandments, the Lord is going to set us on high above all nations on the face of the earth. What does he mean when he say all nations? Again, when you read the word nations in the Bible, it means races. So he's saying that the Lord is going to set us on high above all race on the face of the earth. Now when you look at black people today, are we at high? Are we above all races? Nope. No blacks, no Hispanics. Because look at what's happening to our Hispanic brothers, the Brazilians, the Venezuelans, the Colombians, the Cubans. All those are our people. Look at what's happening to Haiti, Dominica.
That's right.
All those are our people too, tribe of Levi. You understand? Are we above? No, we're not. Jump down to verse 15, Baba Kosha.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Go ahead.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So now Moses is telling us, after we read verse 1, he goes down to list from verse 2 to verse 14. The blessings that is going to overtake us if we hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God. But he also come and tell us in verse 15 something as well too. If we do what? Did not hearken. If we thought what? The laws of God are done away with. Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
Come on, can. If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses...
So Moses is saying, if we don't hearken, which is to listen, to observe and do all these commandments which he commanded us, all these, what is going to happen to us?
All these curses...
So now when we do not observe it and we start celebrating Christmas, Easter, birthdays, Valentine's days, you understand? All these holidays of the world, all these pagan holidays, and you know, we will go and we will do this research, the homework, and realize these things is pagan. But you know what we go say? Nah, it's just a vibe, man. But my mother, them was doing that from since before. Because they lack the understanding. That is why the Lord say, my people, we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
Okay.
You understand? But Moses is telling us what will happen to us as a people if we obeyed. the commandments of the Most High, and if we disobey it. Go ahead, Baba Kusha.
Kawankan, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All these curses is going to come upon us and overtake us. You understand? All these wrong things is going to befall this nation. You understand? Go ahead, Officer Barrett. You could go ahead.
Yeah, let's touch on a little something here. You could go down to verse 16.
Can, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Right. You just had to go down Charlotte Street and see all the businesses on them that's successful on Charlotte Street in Port of Spain, and then look on the pavement and see who is cursed in the city. Look who hustling out of little tables and thing on the street and getting run from the police. You understand? Every single minute. You understand? Who cursed in the city? Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, Moses and Christ, real. Right? And we could go down to verse 45. We seeing that we is a cursed people in the city. We is a cursed people in the field. You understand? Look at black people today. We not blessed. We not blessed compared to these other nations. How they live and how they do things. Nah. Our people, we are cursed. And we wanted to talk about the one in the prison as well too. Right, but we go jump down to verse 45. Baba Kusha.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. Come on.
Give me a verse. Sorry. Give me a verse 46, Baba Kusha.
Kawakan, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46.
You understand? When you look at what the officer just read, we've seen where this curses is going to overtake us, pursue us wherever we go. Wherever we go, we can't run from the things that the Lord says is going to happen to us. You understand? Click there. Go ahead to verse 46.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
Shall be upon thee for what?
For a sign.
It's going to be visible to all. It's going to be visible to our people. For a sign, go ahead.
And for a wonder upon thy seed forever.
And it's going to be evident that these curses are upon black people. It's going to be evident that it's going to be upon our seed, which is our generation, forever. It doesn't mean for infinity. You understand? It means it's going to take us from generation to generation. No matter what we do, once we as a people don't return to the commandments of the Most High, these things is going to befall us. These curses is going to take us, just as Moses said, it was going to come to pass. Go ahead, Officer Barrier.
Let's touch in on, I'm going to read it out here, Leviticus 26 and verse 19. And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron, and your earth as brass.
Right.
You understand? So who following up the prison systems?
Right.
You know, so.
Give me 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3 to 4, and we'll close off because in the time blinking. Yeah, Officer Barrier, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically it's showing you that the curses upon our people for not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right, and they do that very important. Go ahead, Officer Michael.
22
on the clock going down.
The book of John, 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committed sin.
No. First John 2. But that happened. We'll continue because the time on us up, right?
Yeah,
so all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, greatly appreciate you listening here tonight. You understand? Remember to check us, isupk.com.
ISUPK, Trinidad and Tobago, under Commanding General Yohana. We will be live on the streets, 91.9 FM, every Thursday from 7 p.m. Hosted by Officer Sawapya Allah and Officer Mathkoya.
West to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
ISUPK, under Commanding General Yohana, live every Thursday night from 7 p.m. on the streets, 91.9 FM.
Join the winning team with Pastor Alkaline John
every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
live on the street 919 FM as he talks about LaVive, the power of 5 fruits, one of the most powerful antioxidant supplements on the market today. The 5 superfruits in LaVive are mangosteen, acai, pomegranate, goji, and nuni. These fruits have a positive and profound impact on human health performance and disease. Join him as he gives live testimonials of the LaVive healing powers. To get more information, you can contact Pastor Alkaline John at 516-286-7079, or you can visit his webpage at www.alkalinejohn.com. Remember,
every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
live on the street 919 FM.
All right. Here we go again, guys. Great evening to everyone that's listening to the Street 919 FM. So great evening to all who are listening from Trinidad and Tobago, North America, the Caribbean, wherever you may be. We are here live on set just to bring you the news about good health. What needs to be done, how you need to do it, who you need to call to get some more information, free consultation, and they will guide you as to what you need to do. So let me give you that number before we start. 1-868-333-4170 is that number to call. And when you call that number, you're going to get the information necessary, and you have to make that decision now as to using the product, and with the use of it, you know,